In this section, we are going to learn how to set up an email pipeline using Amazon Simple Email Service or SES. This is an introduction to the section. So let's first have a quick idea about what Amazon SES actually is and what it can help and how you can benefit from it. It stands for Simple Email Service. It can be used to send mass emails to groups of people, and it can be integrated with other AWS services like Beanstalk or SNS to provide even more functionality. Additionally, it can be used to store the emails that you receive in raw format in S3 for further processing. So, what are we going to cover in this section? First, we are going to link our domain with Route 53. You can use either your existing domain or create a new one on Amazon Route 53. Then we are going to create a rule set, which will basically define how you are going to treat the emails that you receive from SES. Finally, we're going to validate our setup by sending a test email and viewing the raw message after being stored on S3. So in order to configure your Amazon SES service, I'm going to go to Services. So in order to configure your Amazon SES service, you will have to first verify your domain name. So I'm going to go to Services, go to Route 53, which is the AWS DNS Manager, and I'm going to create a new zone by clicking on Get Started Now on the DNS Management tab here, and I'm going to create a hosted zone. Create hosted zone, and now you get to choose your domain name. Now, when configuring this specific setting, you have several options available. You can either delegate your own domain name that is already hosted on another registrar to be fully managed by Route 53, or you can delegate part of that domain name, like for example a subdomain name, to be managed by Route 53, or you can just use Route 53 or Amazon as a registrar, and in this case you may want to purchase a new domain name directly from AWS. In this specific example, and since I do own a domain name, I'm going to use mail.fakarani.com. So the domain name that I own is fakarani.com. I'm going to use just part of that domain name, which is mail, to be my SES domain name. So I'm going to click Create. Once I do, I'll have here a list of name servers. Now I'm going to go to my domain manager. This is the registrar from which I purchased my domain name, fakarani.com, and I'm going to add a new record of type name server. And since I want to use part of that domain name, so I'm going to choose mail. So it's going to be mail.fakarani.com, and it's going to point to, now I'm going to copy the first NS record here, or name server record. Just highlight it, copy it, and paste it here. Save. So now I have a record that is called mail, pointing to the name server of Route 53. I'm going to do that with the rest of the name servers, and when I'm done, I have 4 records in my DNS manager. The 4 of them are of type NS and host mail and points to each of the name servers provided by Route 53 in the hosted zone. Now I'm going to go to Services again, type SES or Simple Email Service, and from the left hand side here, I'm going to go to Domains, verify a new domain, type in my domain name, and click on Verify this domain. Now, what this tool is going to do is that it is going to add a text record that you see here in your DNS manager. And since we are using Route 53, which is already integrated with Amazon, so it's gonna do this automatically for you. But if you are using another DNS manager, you will have to enter this record manually. The second thing it's gonna do is that it is going to add an MX record to your DNS zone. And this MX record is what defines where the mail should be directed to when somebody sends an email to that domain. So in this specific example, it is going to route this email to a server that is called inbound-smtp.us-west-2.amazonaws.com. So I'm going to click on Use Route 53 here, and I'm going to check on email receiving record to be created as well. It's going to create the text record automatically for me. So I'm going to let it also create the MX record for me instead of having to manually create it. And notice that if you do have another MX record in your domain, it is going to be overwritten. So you will have to make sure that you do not have an MX record already in your domain, or to be aware that it's going to be overwritten by this action. I'm going to click Create Record Sets, and it's now pending verification. In a few seconds, just refresh this part of the page. It has been verified. If I go now to Route 53 just to show you what happened, go to Hosted Zones, mail.fakarani.com, and you're going to see that I do have here 2 records added for me, a text record and an MX record, the first and the last records in the DNS zone. Now that I have verified my domain, the next step is to create the rule set that is going to intercept the mail that arrives and apply the action that you want on it.